Welcome to another Demarcation Media Blokees review. I'm convinced at this point Blokees is just aiming to take over the world because we have another license from them, being the Jurassic World license. Now I know some of you are groaning and going, oh, why couldn't it have been Jurassic Park? Well, there's still dinosaurs here, okay? This is the Terraventure series, which, as far as I can tell, is essentially the dinosaur equivalent of the Defenders Transformers. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of sub-collectability, as with Transformers Defenders, and the box also looks amazing. Blokees continues to level up their graphic design, and this one, like, I'm not as excited about this as I am about the Transformers, but the box alone is so cool that it makes me more excited about these. Blokees did provide this, but that does not affect anything I say because you cannot buy good reviews on this channel. There will have been a live build of this, so if you want to watch that, I'll have a card up in the corner and pin it down in the comments, and we will come back as soon as these are all put together. And that's all the figures put together. We've got a lot of dinos, a handful of vehicles, and we also have a ton of these like collectible cards. Now, this is one of my first kind of complaints here. The cards are fine. There's a weird mix of like the dino pictures, and then like for the vehicles and the skeletons, it's like actually the figures. So that's odd. Also for the Spinosaurus variants, the card is the same. But the instructions, they are very small, and in many cases it was very hard to see the orientation of the legs. Yeah, I think they needed separate instructions. I love the idea of a card and with the instructions on the back, but I think in this case, they're too complex to actually make this work. So that's a bit of a complaint there. I do like how these look, but yeah, they needed real instructions. We're gonna start off with two dinos actually, because we have two Spinosaurus variants here. And for those of you who are wondering, no, the clear one is not some sort of chase variant, it just is another variant, and I don't really know why. I guess it's the Defenders equivalent. You know, we got the Transformers and Defenders, they've got the clear versions. This is the Terraventure version. A little odd that we have basically a duplicate. It does look cool with the clear one. It's just kind of this slightly reflective blue. I don't know if it's supposed to be like it's swimming underwater or a hologram or what. But I mean, it's cool, it's interesting. You know, if you give this to a kid, they're probably gonna think it's pretty cool. But personally, I think that the brown standard Spinosaurus is a lot cooler. And so we got good things and bad things here. Good things in that the molded detail is brilliant. It's so sharp, there's so much of it, it looks great. The downside is in terms of printed detail, you have basically nothing. You have the eyes, and that's it. So like not even the teeth, and the jaw does open, and if you open it too much, it does just fall straight off, but it can open, and the teeth are not printed at all. That looks really weird. I mean, I can do without anything else being printed, to be honest, even the claws, but as long as the eyes and teeth were printed, I'd be fine, but they didn't print the teeth, and I think that's a massive miss. Not a fan of that. For articulation, we've got up and down, side to side on the head. You can rotate it a bit. We got a little bit of ball joint action for the kind of front arms. They can move forward and back. The legs can do all kinds of stuff. You've got a couple joints there. They can kind of straighten up. You can move kind of the ankle. That's pretty nice. And then the tail has some articulation, a little bit of rotation, actually a bit of rotation, and you can kind of move it around. So you'll have some fun posing this guy. I think that's not going to be an issue for these figures for the most part. But yeah, the detail, I love how sharp the molding is, but I don't love how lacking the print is. This wave is probably the biggest mixed bag in terms of a Blokees line that I've had basically ever, because I think this is our Stegosaurus. I think this looks terrible. To be completely honest, I think that the molding is not as good, and the lack of print really makes this look like a cheap toy. Like, it looks like those one-piece dinos that I used to play with when I was a kid, the single hollow plastic things, and I just don't think this is very good. Like there's still some good stuff going on here, but I think the big torso section, the mold work is just kind of soft, and that really does it. And this green is a very toyish green, and again, lack of print. I think some weathering and a little bit of extra paint could make this guy look brilliant, but straight out of the box, he's not great. He does have some nice articulation. He's got head, can go up and down and side to side. We got the movement on the legs. There's movement here. You can move like the knee joint back and forth. You have movement for the tail and this really tight hinging section. So again, he's as poseable as you would want a Stegosaurus to be, but that is just not great. You know what is great though? The Velociraptors. So this is actually the rare. This rarity works basically the same as Transformers Defenders in that there is a standard, there is a rare, and then there is a super rare. The super rare is blue. I did not get that one, but I got the rare. So this one comes with a baby. The standard one does not come with a baby. I think this is hilarious. Obviously the molding is softer, but I'm fine with that because it's, you know, it's a baby. And he's got some articulation for the head. He's got some articulation for the legs, nothing for the arms. I am blown away by how good this looks. The scales, the individual little scales, especially in this color plastic, catches the light perfectly. And he's got printed teeth, which looks great. Like, I have no complaints about this. This was my first figure that I opened, and it gave me very high hopes for this wave as a whole. And I can safely say this is the best figure from the entire wave that I have gotten. I know there's a rare T-Rex as well. We'll talk about that more later. But yeah, in terms of looks, this guy's brilliant. He's got articulation for the forearms, or just the little arms. Plenty of head articulation, opening and closing mouth. He's got a tail that moves. He's got articulating legs. And this guy is about the right size to scale with mega figures, which makes him even more valuable in my opinion. Big fan of this one. I just wish all of them got this treatment. So in case you hadn't realized that this wave was not exactly scale accurate at all, the T-Rex is really going to make you realize this. This is the Velociraptor next to the T-Rex. They are not to scale whatsoever. The T-Rex is miniature basically, and that's just kind of how these chubby Defender style figures seem to go. I'm not really miffed about that. I am miffed about the detail. So this is the standard T-Rex. The rare one looks amazing. Like, there's a reason why he's the poster boy of the wave. And I think that the standard one is almost really good. His mold work and detail is really good. Like, this is a fun little figure, a very fun little figure. And my big complaint again is just the teeth. Like, if he just had painted teeth, he would be so good. I don't even care about the claws, just the teeth. And because the T-Rex teeth are so prominent, even when the mouth is closed, he's got that big overbite. And then when he's got his mouth open doing that roar, like, come on guys, come on Blokees. You couldn't spare a little budget to put some paint on here? Articulation-wise, he's also a lot of fun. His head moves all over the place. He's got his little stubby forearms. I keep saying forearms. Little stubby front arms that can move. His legs can move all over the place. You've got three joints. You can kind of straighten the leg out. He can do some weird steps there. And then the tail has plenty of articulation. So I really like this figure, and I think that the plastic color looks really good. I think that the molded detail looks really good, but I think that the teeth, again, are just a massive glaring issue on this figure. Next up, we have the Stygimoloch, or Stygimoloch, however you say that. Anyway, we have the little bald head ramming guy. He comes with this little cage piece, and to use it properly, you have to take it apart and then like basically build it around him if you want to have him in there. Let's see, how hard is this? Can I do this from the other side of my camera? I don't actually know how this is supposed to work. Oh, there we go. All right, he's in the cage. It's a very small cage, but it is a cage. So that's pretty cool. Interesting that they just decided to put that in with this guy. And then this guy. So the color, again, I think the color is okay. I think it looks fine. I think the molding is pretty good. But with this dude, it's not so much the teeth, because he doesn't really have teeth. His jaw only opens a little bit. But yeah, he's got no teeth, and this guy isn't a meat eater. He does have a big bald head though. That really needs some paint work. That really needed some paint work. Like everything else looks really good, but that head, again, it's glaring issue. He has articulation, head moves around. Basically, I mean, you're starting to see how this articulation works. They're all pretty similar. This guy only has a single joint on his leg. But yeah, again, he's so close to being really, really good. And for kids, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna love this little dino. But for adult collectors, that needed some paint. So here's one that didn't need any paint at all. This is the Stegosaurus Skeleton, and he actually does still have articulation, which is really funny. You can move all kinds of stuff. Also, his toes are weird and tiptoey. But yeah, you've got basically much the same articulation of the other guy, just minus any ball joints. And he looks really good. It's plenty of molded detail, and that's what matters on a skeleton like this. Obviously, you could give it a wash and make it look even better, but for making little displays and stuff, this is great. I don't really think that there's much reason to complain here. Sure, you could complain about the joints being visible, but like, come on, what are they gonna do about that? The Triceratops. Triceratops used to be one of my favorite dinosaurs when I was a kid, and I'm almost really happy with this figure. The detail on the mold work, great. Absolutely great. Like they even molded on the back of his fin, or his big crest. That was more than I was expecting, to be honest. A lot of toy companies would have skimped out and had that just be smooth, but not Blokees. They did it. They went all the way there. Where they went wrong is the horns. Like the horns are the same color as the rest of him, and they are literally separate pieces. All they had to do is mold that in like a gray or a white, and you wouldn't have needed any more print. It would have just been a different color plastic, and it would have been great. But no, for some reason they did the same color, and it just kind of ends up in a very uniform looking figure that needed more detail. It makes it look like he needs print when he doesn't. I mean, I could even be fine with the beak not being printed if these were color separate. I mean, they're like I said, they're a separate piece. They could be color separation, but they didn't do it. I don't understand. Anyway, he's got a little bit of an opening mouth. This one's the most limited in terms of the opening. Also, it's sometimes hard to like actually get a hold of the mouth to open it. But yeah, he can open his mouth. He has a surprising amount of head movement, like a lot more than I was expecting. His little stubby legs can move. They're very tight. But yes, you can move those. The back legs can move. They've got the knee joints on there. The tail can go down, and side to side is pretty limited, but can go all the way around. That's pretty nice. Like I really like him aside from the horns. That just makes me go, why? Usually Blokees is really smart when it comes to color separation, and for some reason here they just dropped the ball. So let's move on to the vehicles now. So this is our capture vehicle. It comes with this big claw on the front that's kind of slightly squishy material. It's on a ball joint so it can be articulated around. If you don't like this, it's actually pretty easy to just yoink that bumper off, and it looks pretty solid without it. It doesn't look quite as solid if you pop this bumper on without that. Now it's got this big hole in it, but to be honest, that still is acceptable, I would say. The vehicle itself has some great details. Like it looks really good. There's full-on seats and everything inside. Looks like a SWAT vehicle almost. And there's even printing around the one side. I would have preferred that to be on both. It's a little strange that it's just on one, but it's pretty nice. It can roll around. It feels like a very high-end, like McDonald's toy, if that makes sense. Like in a good way. I'm saying that in a good way, not in a bad way. So it's pretty cool. Like if you give this to a kid, they're gonna have a lot of fun driving this around, grabbing the dinos with it. Next up, we have a transport truck, and this looks really good. Like I'm very pleased with this one. We've got the logo printed on the hood. That makes a lot of sense. Lots of nice detail. This also fits in pretty nicely with the Transformers vehicles. And this comes with the same cage as the Stygimoloch had, and you can just pop that off. And now you've just got a truck, and it's literally the exact same cage. So you can pop and swap them around. They just pegs on there. It is rather stiff in the peg. There we go. But yeah, it's a nice little vehicle. Like I think it's pretty neat. I like this one even a little bit more than the last one, and it rolls very nicely. Remember what I said about this wave not being in scale? Well, the helicopter is the worst offender of this because it is so small. Like, this is a like Chinook style helicopter. This should be massive. Despite its small size, I still love this. There's so much detail. The windows are all color separated, which means you can kind of see through them. The blades actually spin. Like, this looks super cool. I love the way it looked. And then, look at this. That got me. Look at that. It comes down. I was not expecting them to do that because, like, the truck, the things don't open, but this, we got the little ramp. It does nothing, but it looks amazing. And you get these chains with these clips. I don't know how long these clips will last, but you can hook these onto here. And you can hook these, I guess you could try to hook them onto dino legs, but I hooked them onto the top sections of this. So, you know, you just kind of, they're a little bit stretchy, so you can just kind of pop them like that, pop them like that. And then you can, you know, lift up the cage. Obviously, you'd want to take the truck off. But yeah, that's a thing you can do. I think it's pretty neat. I love the little helicopter. This is the kind of thing that when I was younger, I would have flown this around for hours. And it makes me wonder, are they gonna reuse this helicopter mold for Transformers? Our final figure looks straight out of Night at the Museum, and this is actually a conglomeration. So if I turn this around, you will see that this actually says Tyrannosaurus Rex Skull, if my camera would focus on it. Tyrannosaurus Rex Skull. This is clearly not a skull. So if you collect like half the wave, there's a bunch of figures that are labeled on the box. They will come with bones. And when you get all of them, you will be able to build the entire skeleton. And you also get the coin. This is a pretty cool little piece. It says Jurassic World, but it very much has like Jurassic Park look to it. Blokees on the back, very much like the Defender coins. And then we have this entire figure. So the foot can come off. It's just stuck in this little footprint. And it's a little weird having a whole skeleton on the skull plaque, but you do get a whole skeleton. And what's hilarious about this is this dude, and I left this guy in a weird pose, but this guy is almost twice the size of the alive T-Rex. So they're not the same scale. But this guy has a lot of articulation. You can move up and down. The jaw can open. I say open and I close it, but it can open and close quite a bit, actually. And then the forearms, the front arms can move. We got the back legs. They've got all the sections to it. Joints are a little on the loose side, but he's not very weighty, so I think that's fine. We've got a ball joint at the end of the tail, as well as a hinge here. So this is a very neat little display piece, and I think with a slight black wash and a matte top coat, this would look very premium. And again, that's not really, the washes I don't really expect Blokees to do, so I'm not saying that as like a, oh, they should have done it. I'm just saying if you're a customizer, that would make this look way better. I think it's cool. I think the build-a-figure aspect is really cool. I think it's worth it. The end result looks great. And even if you don't get all of the stuff you need to build the skeleton, you still will have a cool looking skull. So it feels like a win to me all around. So that is Blokees Terraventure Wave 1. And like I said, this is for sure the most mixed bag of a Blokees wave that I've ever seen. There's a ton of cool stuff with the molded detail and the new parts for the dinos. And there's a ton of lacklusterness. Stegosaurus is a massive miss. The unpainted teeth is a kind of a slap in the face. I mean, the dinos and the teeth, like that's the cool thing. Like them baring their teeth and coming after you and roaring, like, come on, Blokees. We needed the teeth at least. So definitely feels like they cut some corners here. Overall, the entire wave feels like one of those, what are they called? I think they were just called giant tubes, where basically you just get this big tube of little plastic toys. This feels like an upgraded giant tube. And that's great in some ways and not great in others. I think if you give this wave to a kid, obviously you probably would want like 8 and up, not younger, because there's a lot of small parts, but give them to a kid, they're gonna love them, absolutely love them. If you give them to an adult, they're gonna like some of it and they're not gonna like others, especially because like the rare T-Rex looks so good. We know that Blokees can do so good, but these standard ones are way more undesirable. My favorite figure is for sure the Velociraptors. I think that the painted teeth really just go a long way, and the molded detail is mind-blowing. But yeah, I think this needs some work for Wave 2. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Let me know, what do you think of these? What do you think of the selection of dinos? What do you think of the lack of paint work? What do you think of the molding? What do you hope to see for Wave 2? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.